Yes, I know. I know I sound like a nerd emoji, or Eric Cartman, or Elmer Fudd, or a Redditor, or a cheeseburger, or a Half-Life scientist, alright? I know I sound weird. As for why I sound the way I do, I don't know. I'm the only one in my non-Southern American family who sounds remotely like I do. And I have tried speech therapy to at least keep my lisp in check, but all it has done is help me project more, so now I get to ramble just a little bit louder. Like I'm practically shouting right now, and as far as you guys know, this is my normal volume. It's why my voiceovers end up taking a decent chunk out of me because I'm pushing my voice harder and longer than I usually do, coupled with a tendency to trip over. Speak of the devil. And my recording sessions can last close to an hour, and take hours more to cut down and process. So you may wonder why I put myself through this, and why I chose a hobby/career path where pretty much everything hinges on my voice, knowing that people would have an issue with it. And it's because, well, I get to have a voice, right? I get to nerd out about the things I enjoy and share my ideas and talents with the world. And yeah, I still have to work at it to get people to care, especially since my voice is the first thing viewers notice, but it's still a chance to put myself out there, when said chances don't exactly come around too often. And being ever so slightly neurodivergent has proven to be an unexpectedly massive barrier to having a normal life. So, forgive me for wanting to do something like YouTube, where these apparent deal breakers don't matter, and you pretty much have to be somewhere on the spectrum to be able to handle it. And while you'd think that the average YouTube commenter would be far more unforgiving than even the job market, in actuality that's not really the case. I'm sure making this video will change that, but from my experience, people don't really care about my voice. There are as many people who liken my voice to various characters from South Park with Down syndrome, as there are those who legitimately like my voice and find it soothing. And for every comment on my voice, there's like thousands of other comments that don't care, and are simply just discussing the video or related topics. And pretty much all my like to dislike ratios are solid, so it's safe to say that this is just an insecurity of mine that almost no one actually has an issue with. And the few who do don't matter, alright? In fact, I'm gonna contradict myself and say that I don't have the worst voice on the site. And I don't really think anyone does. The only ones who, I guess you could say objectively, have bad voices are the many new creators who haven't found their voices yet. So I'm trying something a little different with this video. First, I'm talking in front of a microphone, which may be my biggest mistake ever, but we'll see how it goes. And they all have these awkward pauses and stress certain words weirdly and have random slip-ups and stuff like that. But I think saying that these people have the worst voices on YouTube would be unfair, as it's holding them to the standards of established veteran YouTubers who've had much longer to develop the skills. And even with said veterans, if you watch their older content, you'll hear them sound like the amateurs they used to be. You know, maybe they didn't have the energy or the confidence or the timing. Maybe they've made some odd jump cuts or EQ choices or haven't treated the room yet.
I'm gonna do it like that, so eat my horse.
But as you progress with their catalog, they slowly figure things out and eventually grow into the well-beloved creators we know today, a decent portion of which have unconventional voices that people find endearing and distinctive more than anything.
So I just saw Remy Spider-Man.
Uh-oh.
Most people are willing to get over and even embrace a slightly iffy voice or even slightly iffy quality if what is being said with said voice is substantial. You just gotta speak clearly, learn how to inflect, nail the timing, record in your closet, and process the audio properly. And or write your own captions if everything else fails. Which does take some time to learn. Right, I've been spinning into a mic for over 5 years, and a lot of my old videos from my old channel are downright unlistenable, and I can't believe I put that stuff out there. But those videos had to happen to get to where I am today. And while I obviously still feel a bit self-conscious and I'll probably always sound like I'm high on helium no matter what I do, I'd argue that I've done a good job at finding my voice, and I wouldn't give it up for the world.